Hello, hello. This is my killing time before an appointment review of Schitt's Creek, uh, which I've just watched the full 6 seasons of, and the little after show. Uh, you know, we're sorry to leave the show thing from the cast. Yes, a show that's been running from, I think it's 2019 back to 6 seasons back, like 2012 or 2013, by created by Dan Levy and his father Eugene Levy, starring Catherine O'Hara, Annie Murphy, and those two, and many delightful supporting cast members, um, including his sister as well. Is also in the Daniel's sister is also in the cast as Twyla. Um, yeah, yeah. It's a show that I saw getting advertised on the CBC because it's a CBC show, and I just went, "Oh, it's another lame CBC sitcom." CBC has got a lot of those. Canadian broadcast system. We have this system in Canada where, for the most part, we don't really make very good sitcoms, or haven't for a while. And Yeah, yeah. I think last stuff that I was really enthusiastic on CBC was probably like the Kids in the Hall. Um, I think I talked about Made in Canada at some point. But it's far and few between that the Canadian entertainment system usually puts out anything that I'm particularly interested in. So yeah, just recently this year, this pandemic year, Janine got me to sit down and watch the first couple of episodes. And the first couple of episodes, it's like, it's okay. Okay, yeah, we want something to watch. It was simply just like, it's okay. And it's like, and I watched, maybe another 4 or 5, and it was just like, oh, okay, it's a good show. I'm starting to warm up to the characters, but I became like aware of like, wow, there's a massive fan base behind this show. It's like, what's the big deal? Why is it so kind of like, the show? But, it is one of these shows that as it goes on, you get more and more invested in the characters. The characters, um, deepen, probably especially David and Alexis, have these, have romances, one of which ends in a marriage, and the other one where they agree to go their own way. And so it's like, and that was like, wow, this is surprisingly touching. This is a surprisingly, you know, heartfelt show, with lots of silly humor and Chris Elliott, for God's sakes, which I think the first episode I was like, oh God, they kill him off. Please let them kill him off. But by the end, it's like, him playing Roland Schtt, uh, of Schitt's Creek, I actually appreciated him. So, it is a fantasia. It's a story of a rich family who loses all their money, and has to come to some poor town that they that the father, Johnny Rose, had bought for his son David as a joke one year on a birthday, and the tax people who are repossessing everything else said like, well, we're not going to repossess the town because it's not worth anything. And Indeed, it never apparently becomes worth anything in the show. That's not how things work out for this family. But it's like, it's the only place for them to go to stay. So it's this fantasy of them going to this small town, and becoming better people. And yeah, becoming better people, becoming, you know, they all go through their own kind of growth. Most notably, David and Alexis. In their relationships, in their business. They're basically spoiled adult children. Um, and then there's just this whole thing of, it's like, it's a fantasy that way, but it's also a wonderful world where homophobia doesn't exist, or it's still there, but it doesn't exist on the show because I think someone when I was watching the after thing, someone said like, the campiness of David, his kind of gay affect, that is a shield, that is an armor, and that's generated because it's a homophobic world. But this little avenue here, it's like, no, everyone's just who they are, accepted as they are. What is it? It's the wine, not the labels or whatever like that. Um, and yeah, yeah, it was, it's not great art and literature and stuff like that, but it's so warm and inviting. And, obviously speaking in a year of COVID and wishing fuck off to Donald Trump and stuff like that. It's a bomb. It's definitely a bomb, which I'm glad I got to see on the streaming service that we subscribe to, which the last thing that flashed up on the little documentary at the end is, oh, and this is leaving on the 28th, February the 28th. So I got in under the wire, and I'm glad I did. That was it's the comfort and kind of fellowship that comes from a well-made piece of entertainment, where you fall in love with the characters and you just want to spend time with them, even if you think maybe the last season could have been wrapped up in about 3 episodes or something like that if pressed. But it's like, no,